Benny Hill, a biography of Britain's funniest man. Early life and background. Alfred Hawthorne Hill, known to the world as Benny Hill, was born on January 21, 1924 in Southampton, England. The son of a poor family, he was the only child of Alfred Hill and his wife Edna. His father was a carpenter and his mother worked as a domestic servant. The struggles of his upbringing would later influence Hill's comedic style, often characterized by playful humor and a touch of irony. Hill showed an early interest in comedy and performance. While attending the local school, he quickly became involved in various theatrical endeavors, participating in plays and writing skits. Benny's formative years were marked by the impacts of World War II, which began shortly after he turned 15. He enlisted in the British Army in 1943, serving in the Royal Engineers, where he honed his comedic skills, entertaining fellow soldiers, often mimicking famous personalities of the time. After the war, Hill returned to Southampton, where he began to pursue a career in show business. He moved to London in the late 1940s, hoping to break into the entertainment industry. In 1949, he started performing as a comedian in various venues, including clubs and cabarets, eventually gaining a reputation for his unique style of humor that combines slapstick, wit, and wordplay. Rising stardom. The early 1950s marked a significant turning point for Hill's career. He made appearances on various television programs, including the popular The Benny Hill Show, which first debuted on the BBC in 1955. The show was a variety program that featured sketches, musical numbers, and comedic performances, and it showcased Hill's talents as a comedian, actor, and writer. Although the initial run of the show was not highly rated, Hill's comedic genius began attracting a dedicated audience over time. In the 1960s, his sketches started gaining popularity, thanks in no small part to his clever parody of British society and his ability to tackle contemporary issues in a light-hearted manner. His humorous take on topics such as relationships, women, and the absurdities of everyday life resonated with audiences across the UK and beyond. The iconic chase scenes that became a signature aspect of Hill's show were inspired by silent film comedies, particularly the works of Charlie Chaplin and Laurel and Hardy. These segments featured Hill and a host of female performers, often dressed in revealing costumes, running in exaggerated comedic fashion, soundtracked by the upbeat yakety sax composed by Boots Randolph. This fast-paced humor became synonymous with Hill's style, effectively blending slapstick with music and farce. In the late 1960s, The Benny Hill Show migrated from the BBC to ITV, where it reached new heights of success. The program became a staple of British television comedy, with Hill's sketches being repeated and referenced in various forms of media. His special brand of humor appealed to audiences of all ages, leading to worldwide syndication and making him a household name in countries such as the United States, Canada, and Australia. The height of his career. Throughout the 1970s and 80s, Benny Hill reached the pinnacle of his success. The Benny Hill Show became an institution, running until 1991 and earning him numerous accolades and awards. In addition to the television show, Hill's work extended into film. He appeared in several movies, including The Italian Job, 1969, alongside Michael Caine, and starred in comedic films such as The Benny Hill Movie, 1971, and Benny Hill, The Best of Benny Hill, 1989. Hill's unique style and outrageous characters, including his signature portrayal of the chase, became synonymous with British comedy. He employed a repetitive comedic structure, always reversing the expectations of the audience, whether through absurdity or exaggerated humor. His ability to poke fun at societal norms and taboos without crossing into offensiveness made his comedy widely praised, although it also attracted some criticism, particularly regarding his treatment of women. Despite his vast success, Hill was a humorous and private individual off-camera. He was known to enjoy life behind the scenes, often eschewing the glitz and glamour associated with stardom. A lifelong bachelor, Hill had a few romantic relationships throughout his life but remained fiercely independent. His closest relationships were built around friendships with fellow performers and comedians, reflecting his humble nature. Controversy and criticism. While Benny Hill was celebrated for his comedic artistry, his humor was not without its controversies. critics often labeled his comedy as misogynistic due to the predominantly sexualized portrayals of women in his sketches. The signature chase scenes, while humorous to many, were examined through a different lens as societal attitudes towards gender roles evolved. Many questioned the depiction of women as mere objects of ridicule or pursuit, challenging Hill to adapt to a changing cultural landscape. Despite these criticisms, Hill maintained a loyal fan base. Many argued that his comedy was intended as light-hearted entertainment without malicious intent. Hill's characters were often exaggerated stereotypes, a trademark of the time that he used to evoke laughter and enjoyment. As audiences began to shift and new forms of comedy emerged in the late 1980s and early 1990s, Hill encountered the inevitable changes in the television industry. The Benny Hill Show went off the air in 1991 after a long run, as the landscape of comedy evolved towards more nuanced and diverse storytelling. Though he faced challenges in adapting to new comedic styles, Hill remained a beloved figure in British television history. Later years and passing. In the years following the end of his show, Hill continued to write and perform, but he stepped away from the public eye. The reclusive comedian chose to live a quieter life in his hometown of Teddington, southwest London. He often returned to Southampton, where he enjoyed spending time by the sea and visiting the local pub, reminiscing about his past successes while remaining grounded in reality. In 1992, he made his last public appearance at a celebrity charity event, where he received a standing ovation for his remarkable contributions to comedy. However, his health began to deteriorate in the years that followed. Hill suffered a series of strokes and subsequently faced numerous difficulties. On April 20, 1992, Benny Hill passed away at the age of 68 in his apartment in Teddington. He was found by his close friends after suffering a heart attack. The comedy world mourned the loss of one of its greatest talents, celebrating his immense contributions to the industry and the joy he brought to millions through his laughter. Legacy. Benny Hill's legacy in comedy is indelible. The impact of his work continues to be felt in the realm of British television and beyond. His style has influenced countless comedians, including modern stand-up acts and sketch comedy shows that draw inspiration from his approach to humor. While he remains a controversial figure due to the evolution of societal perspectives on humor, Benny Hill stands as a symbol of a specific era in comedy, a time when slapstick and absurdity reigned supreme. His sketches, embodied in their silliness and joy, provided comic relief during a rapidly changing social landscape in post-war Britain. The modern audience continues to access Hill's work through reruns and online platforms, where his comedic sensibilities can be revisited and appreciated anew. As comedy diversifies and expands, Hill's contributions remain a testament to the enduring power of humor and laughter, a gift that transcends time and cultural shifts. In summary, Benny Hill is remembered not only as one of Britain's funniest men, but as a creative force who used the art of comedy to entertain and bring people together, regardless of the changing contexts of society. His legacy will undoubtedly live on, a reflection of humor's timeless ability to connect and uplift the human spirit.